guys, welcome back to another video. Come on in, have a seat, relax, and enjoy. Today I'm going to be talking about my experience with Propel. Now, a lot of my subscribers might be like, what the heck is Propel? I don't even know what that is. And I'm going to explain all that for you guys. For the people that have Invisalign already and are thinking about getting Propel, I'm going to go ahead and share my experience because I looked online quite a bit and I haven't really found a video where people go through the entire Propel period and describe the pain before, during, and after the procedure. Well, there shouldn't be any pain before the procedure, but anyways, number one, what is Propel? So there are two different types of Propel. The first one is a vibration device you use when your aligners are on. It vibrates for about 5 to 10 minutes to seat your aligners properly and to move your root or vibrate your teeth a little bit to allow them to move a bit more predictably. And that device is called the Propel V Pro 5. I believe it costs about $500, but my orthodontist didn't do that, so I went with the second option, which is microperforations. Now, what are microperforations? Microperforations is essentially drilling holes into your gums between your roots so your teeth could move more predictably and with more ease. And once you do the microperforations, you can change your aligners out within 5 days rather than 14 days. So I thought, great idea, but I wanted to do a little bit of research before I went into it, thinking this actually sounds quite painful. And all the videos I watched were of orthodontists explaining the situation, but I felt like there was a bit of a bias there since orthodontists want you to do that. It costs you more money, so they're like, sure, it's not going to be painful, come on in, you could do it, and it'll be super easy, you'll be able to swap out your aligners. So I was like, there has to be a downside to this. And I was kind of thinking, if they're going to drill holes in your gums, how can that not be painful? Like, if you use common sense, you're like, they're gonna numb my gums, they're gonna drill holes into them. That seems quite painful. So I watched a couple of videos and the orthodontist said it's not painful at all during the procedure because we numb you up really well, and then after the procedure it doesn't hurt at all. If it does hurt, you can take a Tylenol. And in my experience, that was not the case. So the biggest question I have, and I'm assuming most of you guys will have, is Propel painful? Is the Propel micro perforations painful? And the answer to that is
mother trucker, dude. That hurt like a butt cheek on a stick.
Watch your profanity.
When I first went in, they numbed my jaw up entirely. So they did all 4 quadrants, meaning they did my entire mouth, both the upper gums and the lower gums, and they numbed it up, allowed the drug to take about 15 minutes to set in, and then after about 15 minutes the orthodontist came in and essentially had a little drill that he used to drill holes into my gums between the roots, and he did it for every single tooth. And honestly, in the moment, they do drug you up really heavily, so you cannot feel a thing. You can't even feel yourself drooling on yourself, and yeah, it was a pretty intense anesthesia. Afterward, I had a 50-mile drive to my orthodontist, so it was quite a drive. And about 5 miles into going home, the anesthesia started wearing off, and I had no type of drug to kind of, I guess, numb my mouth or numb my body. I didn't even have Tylenol on me because all the research I did pretty much implied that you weren't going to have pain afterward. But it really started hurting, and I drove home 45 miles in agonizing pain, which was terrible. So how long does this pain last? For me, this pain lasted about 60 hours. I came home, I took 2 Tylenol. You can't take acetaminophen, well, you can't take Aleve or Advil because apparently that takes down the swelling, and you need the swelling for this procedure to take effect. You need blood rushing to that area to help it heal and to help the teeth shift. But yeah, so this process or this pain lasted about 60 hours for me. Every 2 or 3 hours I took 2 Tylenol tablets. You could take I believe, a maximum of 4,000 milligrams a day, which is 8 tablets, and you can take 1 or 2 per, I guess, serving, I guess. So the first day I took 8, and it wasn't even 24 hours yet. I was about 5 hours away from the 24-hour mark, and I had already reached my 4,000 milligram limit. And yeah, at night I was just in agonizing pain, couldn't really sleep. I kept waking up every couple of hours once the Tylenol wore off. So it is quite painful. And then the next day, I was like, okay, I can't take 2 Tylenols. I can't go past that 4,000 milligram limit. So I only took 1 Advil per round, and that lasted about the same amount of time, which was 2 to 3 hours. So I believe the next day I took 5 Tylenol. The first day I took 8, the second day I took 5, and then the third day there was still a bit of soreness going on, especially when I was biting on food. You can't eat anything even mildly tough the first couple of days. I would say the first week, you don't want to even eat anything mildly tough, because when you bite onto it, it is really quite painful. The first day I believe I only had like 1 meal, just because it was just so painful to eat, and I had a bit of oatmeal, I think, as well. And then the next day, once again, quite painful. And not only was biting on the food quite painful, you must remember you have like open wounds, like 25, 27 open wounds in your mouth, which means if any type of spice touches it, if any type of just food touches it, it's quite painful, it stings, so you want to keep away from that as well. But yeah, that's my experience, my genuine experience with Propel micro perforations. They are quite painful, but once again, I could change my aligners out every 5 to 7 days. They told me 5 to 7 because if you feel like they're not shifting enough within the 5 days, you can give it another 2 days to shift before, before you can swap over to the next pair of aligners. So anyways, guys, that is my experience with Propel not V Pro 5. I'm not sure about that one. That might be a little bit more easy. If you wanted to try out Propel, I would recommend going with that option, just because you don't have open wounds in your mouth, and I'm assuming it's a little bit easier to deal with. So if you want to have your orthodontic treatment go by faster, check in with your orthodontist. Ask him what he would recommend for you. Since I only had the micro perforation option, and it was $500 to take off roughly a year of time off my Invisalign treatment, I opted for it. And in the first week, I'm gonna be honest, it felt like I shouldn't have done it just because it was so painful. But I feel like in the long run, when I have my teeth straightened within the next year, I'm gonna be like, wow, yeah, that was a good idea. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely hit that thumbs up button. If you like this type of content in general, hit that subscribe button as well as the post notification bell. But other than that, I will let you go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.